All right, you've been hearing all morning long various updates about what could possibly happen with former President Donald Trump out of the courts in New York, where a district attorney up there is impaneling a grand jury, and they're possibly going to be voting on some kind of indictment today. Dealing with allegations of impropriety when it comes to campaign finance and money that went to Stormy Daniels years ago, and could lead to the former president facing charges. While we heard the president over the weekend announce that he is expecting to be arrested Tuesday came and went, and there was no arrest. Is it going to happen today? Don't think that there is going to be an actual arrest today. However, there is expected to be some kind of announcement of possible indictment against former President Donald Trump. Want to hear your thoughts. 217-629-7970. Is this political, or should we, everybody is to be held to the same standard? Nobody's above the law, as some would say. So what are your thoughts on this? Is this purely political because Trump is considered the front runner for the 2024 presidential election, as you've got a contentious primary expected? How's this going to play into that? With Ron DeSantis not yet announced, but is he going to use this to his advantage? Are other candidates going to use this as something that says, look, Trump can't run, he's charged? Are Democrats going to be able to continue to say, see, we told you Trump is a bad person, he got charged with something, let alone if the charge is, simply a misdemeanor or just simply worth a fine rather than, a perp walk or having fingerprints or whatnot. Also, how is all this going to play out with the Secret Service having to take care of Trump? But there's another fascinating element in all of this, and it's the use of artificial intelligence and making pictures. This is absolutely frightening with how this is possibly going to be something we have to contend with in the future. We're already having to contend with it. You've heard, for years and years and years, even former President Trump calling things fake news. Oh, it's fake news this, fake news that. Well, artificial intelligence and computer-generated photographs, I shouldn't call them photographs because they're not really photographs. They're computer-generated graphics. It's CG. But these computer-generated graphics are getting more and more refined to where an untrained eye is going to have a difficult time finding out if indeed these pictures are real or not. And that's exactly what we're looking at here with fake AI-generated photos of Trump being arrested going viral. And if you click through, you can see, these are fake-generated photos of Trump running away from police officers, running down the street. Again, fake. Another one of Trump seeming to resist arrests with police all around it. Fake. Another one with him being corralled and linked arms with other police. Again, fake. But to an untrained person, that's going to look pretty real. And how are we going to combat against that? So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. You can always email me, bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air. But the best way to do it, live and local, is 217-629-7970. That's the phone number, 217-629-7970, where you can chime in and let us know your thoughts on the whole circumstance here. Listen, we've had a lot of other instances of bad acts from presidents, including payoffs. Clinton, he gave one accuser hundreds of thousands of dollars. You've got the impropriety of other politicians that may have been involved in some shady business dealings. And it's a different level, though, when you get to presidents with, the Justice Department and the political prosecutors looking to somehow go after their political opponents or to make a name for themselves. Alvin Bragg out of New York. Nobody's ever heard his name before except in New York. Now everybody knows his name. He's the prosecutor that could uphold a campaign promise of holding Donald Trump accountable and going after Donald Trump. But what will this do into the future for our constitutional republic? And is this an abuse of the justice system? If indeed Trump gets indicted today and has to go through and be processed in New York, all indication is he's not going to serve any jail time. You've got this prosecutor as well being criticized roundly for being soft on certain crimes, low-level misdemeanors and property damage crimes, and even some low-level violent crimes. You've got the people criticizing this prosecutor for kind of looking the other way on those things, but when it comes to Donald Trump, then it's everything's throw the book at him, right? Give him the stiffest penalty and the stiffest sentence possible, and make him do the perp walk and all of that. No, he is going to have to stay behind bars pending trial. Now, it's fascinating to see the double standard there, and people do have serious concerns with that. So if we see this move forward, how do you feel that that's going to impact our body politic? With barricades already being put up in New York and the ongoing questions of what kind of protests this could lead to on both sides. Will those sides clash? I think this is a very tumultuous waters that we're entering, and I don't know if people necessarily understand the true implications of it all. 217-629-7970 is the phone number. We'll go right to the phones. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Yeah, I think that anybody that says it's political is just kind of like ignoring reality. If it was political, all the lawsuits that he's gone through, you would see, Democrats always saying he did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. But if you look at the real history, like of him in the courts, all the Republicans that he goes before, or the majority of them, they are also saying, no, he did wrong, there was nothing here. So to say that this time it's political when all the other times have been proven not to be political, I think is just silly.
So you're saying essentially that this is not political and that the former president should be charged and go through the booking process and all of that.
Correct. And even if you want to go so far and say, the DA is doing it political, this grand jury, they're not all Democrats, I'm sure.
I don't know. Fly. In the Southern District of Illinois, where Trump lost by like 80%, just throwing that out there. I don't know if they found, a bipartisan grand jury, and I don't think that that's necessarily a consideration. But you're essentially saying, charge him up.
Well, I'm just saying I think that the law should run its course, and I think anybody that says this is political is not for the rule of law. Got you down.
All right, 217-629-7970 is the phone number. If anybody else has, a different take, would love to hear it. Again, 217-629-7970. You can also email bishoponair@gmail.com. Again, bishoponair@gmail.com. Let's see if there's any comments coming in via social media. All right. No, I don't have Hotmail. Somebody asking if I have Hotmail. Actually, I do have a Hotmail account. I'm pretty sure it's defunct, though. bishoponair@gmail.com is how you can get a hold of me, or you can call in live and local right now at 217-629-7970. Again, 217-629-7970. You can also message me on Twitter. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way as well. All right, so make it happen, and we'll likely be talking about this again in the very near future, as expecting to hear something drop today. Mike on YouTube says political persecution. That's what it is, he says. All right, and whatever happened to the weeks, months, and years of, all right, talking about Russia collusion. Yeah, all the talking heads talking about Russian collusion. It's pretty fascinating. All right, one last call here, 217-629-7970. Good morning, you're on WMAY.
Good morning. Hey, all I got to do, I just put my 2 cents worth in here. That guy that just really called in and said that this is not political. Everything about Trump is that they don't want him to be able to run for president again. And so they're going to try everything under the sun to try to make it sure that he can't run. It's all political. Anybody that doesn't think that this is all political is stupid.
Well, do you think if Trump is held accountable for payments he made to Stormy Daniels, should Hillary Clinton be arrested and charged for funding the Steele dossier that was, filtered and laundered through the FBI to lead to fraudulent spy campaign against the former president? I mean, so should we have equal justice here?
Exactly. No, it is. There's nothing equal about it. Nothing. There wasn't anything equal about it for the last election. I'm hoping that they don't pull it off again on the next election. Time's going to tell, but they definitely do not want Trump to run. I think that if they try to pull it off again and Trump loses again, I think that they're really going to be afraid of some really bad riots.
Well, I appreciate the call. I hope that we don't have any kind of political violence, and that's something we have to be sure to push back against and to dissuade in any way possible. But, when you start seeing alleged abuses of the justice system, it can lead to some unsavory actions across the board. We'll take one last call here real quick. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning. Yeah, it's definitely political because they said so. They said that they're going to try anything they can to get Trump arrested, to find something on him. They want the bad narrative. But here's the kicker. What about when the Joe Biden stuff comes out? Are these people really going to be this tough on Joe Biden and all the money laundering that could be going on there? So it'll be interesting to tell. But I hope all these people that are excited now about Trump are just as excited when the Bidens hit. Yeah,
I mean, you'd think that if they're going to be this upset and this much looking for blood, so to speak, that they're willing to have a presidential campaign essentially derailed through the justice system. What about President Biden and all the allegations there are about his son and business dealings with foreign governments and so on? I think it's an interesting point. We'll hold our breath and watch. Let's see here. No more talk on Biden's discovered classified top secret documents. So you've got that in the mix as well. The DA campaigned on getting Trump, somebody else says. So obviously people are pretty active there on social media commenting. All right, we'll have to talk about this again in the near future. Greatly appreciate everyone chiming in. But we got to take a